Story 1. The Haunted Video. There was a video on YouTube that had been causing a stir among the paranormal community. It was a simple video, just a few minutes long, but it was said to be cursed. It showed a small room with nothing in it except a single chair. The camera was set up in the corner of the room, and the person who filmed it seemed to be standing just outside the door. As the video played, nothing seemed to happen. The chair remained empty, and the room remained still. But as the minutes ticked by, people started to feel a sense of unease. Some claimed to see strange shapes moving in the shadows, or to hear whispers and footsteps in the background. Others reported feeling a strange presence in the room with them, as if somebody was watching them from the other side of the screen. The video quickly gained a reputation as one of the scariest on the internet, and people began to avoid it at all costs. But for some, the curiosity was too much to resist. They clicked on the link, bracing themselves for the worst. As it turned out, the video was even more terrifying than they could have imagined. Within seconds of starting to watch, they felt a cold hand on their shoulder. They turned around, but there was no one there. They heard a voice whisper in their ear, telling them to leave the room. They tried to ignore it, but the voice became louder and more insistent. Finally, they couldn't take it anymore, and they fled the room, heart racing and sweat pouring down their face. From that moment on, they were convinced that the video was haunted. They warned their friends and family not to watch it, and begged YouTube to take it down. But for some reason, the video remained online, tempting more and more people to click on it and experience the terror for themselves. Story 2. The Cursed Playlist. There was a YouTube playlist that was said to be cursed. It was called The Last Recordings, and it was made up of a series of videos that had been uploaded by people who had died under mysterious circumstances. The first video was from a young woman who had gone missing on a camping trip. Her camera had been found in the woods, and the video showed her last moments alive. She was clearly terrified and begged for someone to find her and help her. The video ended abruptly, and her body was never found. The next video was from a man who had committed suicide. He had recorded a final message to his loved ones, explaining why he had decided to end his own life. The video was painful to watch, and many people couldn't bring themselves to finish it. The playlist went on like this, video after video of people who had met tragic ends. Some were accidents, others were murders, and a few were simply unexplained. But all of them were unsettling, and the feeling of dread only grew as the playlist went on. People began to avoid the playlist, convinced that it was cursed. They said that anyone who watched it would meet the same fate as the people in the videos. But for some, the curiosity was too much to resist. They clicked the link, and as they watched the videos, they couldn't shake the feeling that they were being watched. Some even reported seeing strange figures in the backgrounds of the videos, or hearing whispers in their ear. And when they tried to turn off the playlist, they found that it wouldn't let them. It seemed that the curse was real and that they were trapped. As the days went by, more and more people reported experiencing strange and terrifying events after watching the playlist. Some claimed to have been visited by the ghosts of the people in the videos, while others reported having strange dreams and hallucinations. Some even claimed to have been possessed by the spirits of the deceased. Despite the mounting evidence that the playlist was cursed, there were still those who refused to believe it. They insisted that it was all just a coincidence, and that the people who claimed to have experienced the supernatural were just seeking attention. But as the list of people affected by this playlist grew, it became harder and harder to deny the truth. Finally, YouTube was forced to take action. They removed the playlist from their platform, citing the numerous reports of people being harmed after watching it. But for many, the damage had already been done. They would never be able to shake the memory of the cursed playlist and the fear that it had instilled in them. Story 3: The Demon Possession. There was a YouTube video that was said to be possessed by a demon. It was a live stream of a young woman who was conducting a seance in her bedroom. She was a self-proclaimed occultist and had been performing seances and other spiritual rituals for years. The video started off normal enough, with the woman explaining the rules of the seance and setting up the room. But as the minutes ticked by, things started to get strange. The woman's voice became distorted, and she started to speak in a language that no one could understand. Her eyes rolled in the back of her head, and she began to thrash around on the bed. People watching the live stream were terrified, and many of them tried to leave comments warning the woman to stop, but it was too late. The demon had taken over her body, and there was no stopping it. As the seance went on, the woman's body contorted in unnatural ways, and she started to spew out curses and threats. The live stream became a spectacle, with thousands of people tuning in to see the demon possession unfold. Eventually, the woman's friends and family were able to intervene and stop the seance, but the damage had been done. The woman was left permanently traumatized, and the video became one of the most viewed on YouTube, with millions of people watching in horror. Some even claimed that they had been affected by the demon's presence, experiencing strange dreams and hallucinations after watching the video. To this day, the video remains online, a chilling reminder of the dangers of dabbling in the occult, and those who watched it still can't shake the feeling that something evil is lurking just beyond the screen. But for some, the fear didn't stop there. They claimed that the demon from the video was still out there, waiting for its next victim. They said it could possess anyone who watched the video, and that it was only a matter of time before it struck again. Despite these warnings, there were still those who were drawn to the video. They watched it, mesmerized by the horror on the screen. And as they watched it, they couldn't shake the feeling that they were being watched in turn. They heard whispers in their ear and saw shadows moving in the corners of their eyes. They knew that the demon was still out there, waiting for them. And they knew it was only a matter of time before it claimed its next victim.